You say, how do you wind up in an America with an overt socialist president moving toward the communist side, surrounding himself with czars, some of whom are overt communist, socialists, anti-American types? How did it happen? Well, you have to look at the universities. The universities, as you know, are 99% Marxist, filled with people who have never met a payroll, filled with people who don't know what it is to make a living, filled with people who want to teach 4 contact hours a week and collect $100,000 a year in free housing, and they think it comes from nothing. People who don't know the first thing about the guts it takes to create a capitalist enterprise. In other words, total and absolute idiots, basically, by and large, in the social sciences. Now, here are the 11 wackiest college courses of fall 2009 that we've linked up on michaelsavage.com from Fox News. 1. It's called Queer Mobilities. For $4,950 at Oberlin College, you will learn why, quote, only citizens get to claim queerness, whereas undocumented immigrants are always presumed to be heteronormative, close quote. In other words, you'll study why people always assume that illegal immigrants are straight. That's $5,000 a year for your student to take that course. And you wonder why Obama's in the White House. You can go to Georgetown University, and you can take a course in philosophy for $4,827 entitled The Philosophy of Star Trek. See, this is what they're teaching your children why they come out. They can't get a job. They can't write. They can't read. They can't speak. They know how to get high and hook up with someone to have sex. Now go, oh, what's wrong with this racist, sexist society? I can't get a job. Well, you have no skills, moron. You have no skills. You can't even drive a nail straight. You can't even turn a wrench on a pipe. You can't cut a piece of wood. Why should you have a job? Here's another one. For $40,000 a year, you can go to so-called Hobart, whatever that is, and William Smith colleges in New York, whatever that is, and take a class on radicals ranging from Karl Marx to George Bush. In other words, they say Karl Marx is a radical, which he was. He caused the death of 90 million people in the last century. And George Bush, admittedly a failure as a president, but certainly not a radical. He was as moderate as they come. That's what passes for A and B, or the, shall I say, the alpha and omega of radical thought. It just shows you the deranged thinking in colleges. Here, we're talking about the 11 wackiest college courses of fall 2009 to show you the kind of degenerates that are in school today. Here is a man named Eric Seeger, Director of Media and Public Relations at Carleton University, wherever that is. And for $4,500, you can take a course called FemSex. The Carleton Gender and Sexuality Department builds it on their website as, quote, the class you've been waiting to take. Assigned homework readings range from I'm not fat, I'm Latina, and, quote, myth of the black butt, unquote, to how to have energy orgasms. This is being taught for $4,500 in a course by Eric Seeger at so-called Carleton College. Now you understand why the children come out of school and they can elect a guy like Obama, and they don't even know what's going on. You haven't had enough yet? There's another class at Ohio State on Harry Potter literature. Well, shall I continue? Because now you'll know how you wound up with Obama as president. How about going to MIT and taking a course in video game studies? Introduction to Video Game Studies. Students play and analyze video games while reading current research and theory in consultation with the instructor. So $4,500 per class. They're not reading Churchill and how he saved England from Nazi Germany, but video games. And they learn how to Twitter. They all know how to Twitter. They know how to hook up in a bar, but they can't tell you what in the world is going on around themselves. Here's another one at Cornell. Once great Ivy League school, beautiful campus, at Cornell University for $700. You could fulfill your physical education requirement by taking tree climbing for $700. So-called Professor Mark Holton, who teaches tree climbing, says students are excited. Well, you've never offered a tree climbing class that is not filled to capacity. I'm not making this up. He said, we also go to Costa Rica for climbing in the jungle. And you wonder why your daughter can't get a job after you spent $200,000 sending it to Orgasm University. At Alfred University in New York, you can now learn how to make maple syrup for $1,500. That's actually not a bad course. At least they could do something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of the illegal aliens can give up their jobs and they can let the American student make maple syrup. So we're reading 11 wackiest college courses for fall 09. Here's another one. Occidental College, wherever that is, never heard of it. It's at Los Angeles, I guess, and the course is called Stupidity. For $4,875, you can study stupidity at this college, and the course description is hard to beat, and it says, quote, stupidity makes itself felt in political life, ranging from the presidency to Beavis and Butthead. Stupidity is neither ignorance nor organicity, the description reads. And if you can understand that, you probably won't end up being dissected in the course. This is what passes for a course now in college. That, along with courses on race, sex, and gender, you get the picture. And now you understand why Barbara can't read and why Johnny can't get a job. How about zombies? At Ole Miss, they teach a course called Zombies. The Living and the Undead. Students will watch zombie films, read zombie books, and write a zombie research paper. Do you realize what this is? This is the death of the West. Don't you understand what it is? Don't you understand why the moderate Muslim is starting to hate the Western civilization? You know, you think all Muslims are dangerous. You're wrong. Most of the Muslims in America, as you know, want the same life you do. The thing is, they don't want the degeneracy to go with it. They don't want their daughter to become a degenerate. They don't want their son to become a degenerate. They want the children to grow up to be something, make something of themselves. They wake up and they see what's going on in this country. They don't understand what country they moved to. You understand? And what I say to you, why I'm telling you all of this, here, students at Berkeley can learn about the television judge arguing with Judge Judy, a rhetoric class that costs a certain amount, a couple of $1,000s, arguing with Judge Judy. So in other words, if you want to study logic, you don't study logic, you argue with a TV character at University of California at Berkeley. It's actually sad. You can read all of these courses by going to my website, michaelsavage.com. 1-800-449-8255. What would you like to talk about? I've just given you some courses. What is the most insane college course you've ever taken? Should Michael Savage accept the invitation to go to, what's the name of the university? I forgot already. Cambridge University, and accept the invitation to debate there. I mean, it's a very interesting invitation. It certainly has distinguished me as the most important talk show host in American history in that regard. You know that they would never invite Rush Limbaugh because he could never debate. And you say, well, why do you keep bashing him? I'm not bashing Rush. I'm trying to tell you that I'm really pissed at Rush. I'm pissed at Hannity. I'm pissed at the hemorrhoid because they will not cover the most vital and important story of their time, which is a fellow talk show host who was their competitor, who has been banned from a Western democracy. I am very pissed at them for getting away with it because you let them get away with it the same way you let the Republicans get away with Van Jones in the White House. And that's why the New Yorker featured me as a man who is a member of a party of one. Moderate drinking may help the brain. It's a new article came out in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry. And they reviewed 15 studies that overall, all these studies followed more than 28,000 subjects for at least 2 years. And they found that moderate drinking may help the brain. But there's an interesting part to this. We've known this for a while. Now, all of these epidemiological studies controlled for age, sex, smoking, and other factors. Controlled is a very important word, which I won't explain to you, because many of you will say, well, I don't believe that because we don't know whether they're also smoking or how old they are. Well, that's what controlled means. It's controlled for that. But here's the interesting part. They found that moderate drinking may help the brain. But the studies variously defined light to moderate drinking as 1 to 28 drinks per week. So you could say you're a light to moderate drinker if you have just 1 a week or 3 a day. It's about 3 1/7 a day. Three drinks a day would be 20. 3 times 20. No, 3 times 7 is 20. How much is 3 times 7? I can't think. My ear is out. I'm telling you. 21, right? So it's more than that. It's 4 drinks a day, right? Oh, a week. 28 drinks a week is 4 a day. Is that correct? Yes. So you could still be a moderate drinker if you have 4 a day. I've said that for years. Remember years ago I said to you that the American Medical Association declared moderate drinking as 1 ounce of alcohol a day, while the British Medical Association declared it as 5 ounces of alcohol a day, whether it be 5 beers, 5 wines, or 5 shots, so to speak. And I said, I like the British view of what moderation is. I used to drink about 5 a day years ago. I don't do it anymore. Maybe 1 or 2 is the most I can tolerate. I don't like the feeling anymore after that. Rarely will I hit 3. But let's say you're drinking 1 to 28 drinks a week. It's still considered light to moderate. It's very interesting. I would suggest you do it with food, by the way. Anyway, compared with abstainers, male drinkers reduced their risk for dementia by 45% and women by 27%. And they say, of course, researchers acknowledge that studying the effects of alcohol on dementia is complicated by issues such as beverage type, standards of quantity, individual behavior that may interact with alcohol, blah, 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 blah. But the fact is that alcohol consumption in moderation is extremely helpful. And then they put a caveat, quote, the overall safety of alcohol use in later life needs to be evaluated in relation to all of the available evidence about its... Yeah, all right, fine. In other words, the study proves definitively that your grandfather was 100% right, that drinking is good for you. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Any topic is not fair game. Florida Exodus. There's another article that caught my attention I put on the website. Rising taxes drive out residents. Did you hear what's going on?